Yep. Good morning, everyone. So, last session we discussed about this shopping example, right? So, everyone tried this. Everyone able to design this shopping example. Is it working? Yeah. So, we discussed about how do we set up the filters. We learned about how do we add items into cart. The item count will update. How we can show hide the contents. One more I showed you how to remove items from the cart like this. Everyone able to design this? I will give one additional work on this. You try. What I want is user will add any item into cart. Now, when user adds items into the cart, what you have to do is here you need to display at the bottom total. Total how much yes, how much they need to pay for both of them. Some 400 like this. And very important means roughly I'm just giving. We need to get the price of this, am I right? We need to get the price of this two items and display total. And important that total must able to update. Okay, na? This total must able to update automatically when you delete any item or add item. So what extra you have to do? You need to design at the bottom total and display total how much based on the price of first item, price of second item added into this total. It should update when user clicks delete button. It should automatically update the amount when user clicks the delete. Can you try that? Right. Additionally, you do that in this. Now, once we know this, how to handle these all topics under which concept? We discussed all this under structural directives. So we have structural directives, ng if and ng switch and ng for. These are the structural directives and we saw some examples on them. Shopping example was related to ng for. Okay, next, after understanding structural directives, we have to discuss now attribute directives. Directives are three types: component directives, structural directives, and attribute. Attribute directives are nothing but attribute directives are responsible for making the markup more interactive and responsive. That is what attribute directive can do. Attribute directives are responsible for making the markup more interactive and responsive. And In Angular, we have two types of attribute directives. Angular provides two types of attribute directives. So one is ng class, another one is ng style. These are two attribute directives, the class and ng style. So we will see how these are used. Actually, ng class is nothing but ng class. It is used to apply a CSS class dynamically to any element. Why we can do that? So that you can change the appearance of element dynamically. We can change the appearance of element dynamically by changing the class. Generally, what happens in HTML, we write, suppose there is a view. We will apply class as text integer like this. Then what will happen? It will display in red color. But text integer actually displays in red color. But if it is valid, it should display in green color. Invalid, it should display in red color. That means here in this view, two messages will come. One valid message will come, and another invalid message will come. Then how you can put same color for both of them? That we cannot do. Generally in HTML, we can apply class. But in Angular, we can change the class according to situation. That means if it is matching with a valid, one effect. If it is matching invalid, another effect. We can change the appearance dynamically by changing the classes. That's what we can do by using ng class. So HTML uses class, but this will apply specific class. You can apply multiple classes also, but you cannot change classes. You can set a class, but you cannot change the class according to situation in HTML. If you want to change that, we can do by using ng class. What ng class can do is it can dynamically apply a CSS class to any element, so that element will be changing its appearance according to the situation. It will be changing. Actually, this concept is called as, so this is often called as class binding in Angular. We call this mechanism as class binding. Class binding means you can bind a CSS class dynamically to any element, so that element appearance can change. It can change. So it will not have same appearance every time. It will be changing according to situation. In this, actually, lot of techniques are there. I will tell you that. Actually, so CSS class can be applied to any element using ng class directive. CSS class can be applied to any element using ng class directive in three ways. In 3 ways. There are 3 ways. What are those 3 ways? Is using a string reference and using an array reference and another one is using object reference. These 3 techniques are there. I will show you these techniques now. We will see that. So syntactically, string reference means like this. So we are giving a div ng class is equal to string reference means we will put in single quote. That is a string reference. This is actually class name. That is the string reference. We have an array reference. Array reference means we can write like this, ng class and equal to. So we can put an array. This is array. In this array, we can apply multiple classes. Class 1, we can apply class 2. If multiple classes we want to apply, we use which reference? Array. Only one class you want to apply, then you can use an string reference. There is another technique called object reference. We use ng class. Object reference means, we use a block. In that, what we do is we will put class 1 and here we will put true or false. We have class 2 and we will keep true or false like this. This is object reference. Object reference uses true or false. That means if one situation matches, it will apply one color. If another situation matches, it will apply another color. It can on the class, it can off the class. True will on the class and false will off the class. That means the class can be turned on, turn off by using which one? Object. I will show you all the 3 techniques. We will see how to apply them. We will see one example now. See, string reference is like this. Let's create one component. I am adding a component in the component directive. So ng generate component class binding. Skip test. Okay, I am creating class binding component. Okay, let's keep this class binding in startup. Class binding. App class binding. In app module, we will change in the bootstrap class binding. Okay, now let's run this and see. So class binding is working. Okay, now we will just go to the component and class binding. Yeah. In this HTML file, I will show you various scenarios. Let's see. So container fluid. Here I will show how to use string reference first. What we are doing is we are adding some class. Go to CSS file. This is class binding CSS file. In this, we are writing like one is dot classes are written with dot. Already we know CSS classes are defined with dot. I will say here BG style. In BG style, I am applying background color. We are applying background color, some color, that is BG style. And I given text style, color as red, text align as center. I given border style. Border style, I given border as 1 pixel, solid red color border. These are actually 3 classes. Now I have some sample text here. So this is class binding. And let's put here a paragraph or heading. Sample text. Okay. Now to this sample text, we want to apply some classes. Means dynamically we want to apply some classes. So here you can add an attribute ng class. What is first reference style? String. String reference style means you have to put in single quote. In double quote, you have to add a single quote. In this single quote, we will put the class. The class is I given as suppose BG style. You can see the background style is applied. But in string reference, I can apply only one class. Only one class we can apply there. Suppose I want multiple classes. Then we can use array reference. I will put another heading, same sample text. This time I want to use ng class. And this time, first we are using array reference. In array reference, class 1 is BG style, comma, we can put class 2. Class 2 is what? Text style. Your wish. You can see only those two will come. I want border style. That means comma, one more. What is it? Border style. It will apply the border style like this. It will display. I will apply some thick border here, suppose 2 pixels so that you can see. Text style have padding as 10 pixel. You can see it is going to apply those effects here. What is string reference? It allows only one. What is array reference? It allows multiple. See here, I'm using one more. Here I am using another heading, sample text. Here I am using ng class object reference. In object reference, you have to define class name BG style. You want it to work or not. That is defined with true or false. it is with true or false. Now same comma, another one is text style. Text style also we set it to true. Another one, what is it? Border style. Border style. Border style also, suppose I given false. That means only text and BG style are applied. Border style is not applied. Suppose I changed this BG style to false. You can see it will change the background also. Now, actually, I can do this in HTML also. In HTML also, we can write multiple classes. But here's the main concept is you can change classes dynamically. That means we can change appearance dynamically. See the part here. I will create an unordered list. In that class list unstyled. Unstyled means there is no symbols. Here I created a checkbox. Input type is equal to checkbox. Checkbox. Here I will give border. I will add another checkbox. I will add another checkbox. I say background. I add another checkbox. I will say text effect. Now what I want is when user selects this, those must apply here. Those must apply to the third sample text. Okay. Now these checkboxes will return a boolean. Am I right? Now we will use MVVM approach, MVVM or MVC. Then first I will define ng model hash border is equal to ng model. Now similarly ng model hash background is equal to ng model. So here ng model and hash text is equal to ng model. Now these border background text must be applied here. Here I am using BG style. BG style means background dot value. We know ng model will refer what is selected true or false by using value. Text box value, drop down value, we access by using what value. For checkbox, the value will be boolean, true or false. Similarly, text style will come from where? Text dot value. Then border style will come from where? Border dot value. Border dot value. Border. Remember, all these are checkboxes now. Now see what happens. I will select background. Background will apply. I select text effect. Text effect will apply. I select border. Border will apply. I remove background. Only border and text will be there. I remove border. Then only text. I can apply only what I want and I can change the appearance dynamically. That is the advantage of ng class. Generally, we can apply CSS classes with class. Why to use ng class? Ng class allows to change according to situation. That is the point. Now, later you will use this in validations. Because we haven't learned validations, later we will learn. In validations, what happens? If it is valid, one color. Invalid, another color. We can make the appearance change. Suppose you are filling a form and in a text box you entered wrong value. The text box turns to red color. So if it is valid, then it turns to green. It changes dynamically. That's what we can do by using class. But for that, you have to learn validations, then we can handle. Initially, it is working. We are changing the appearance dynamically. How many types of apply styles are there? Three. We can apply as a string. We can apply as a array. String is for single, array for multiple, and object is to turn on and off the classes. We can turn on and off the classes according to situation actually. So here string reference will allow to set and change one CSS class. Array reference will allow to set or change multiple CSS classes. And object reference will allow to turn on or off the classes using Boolean value. Boolean value is true or false. False. That is actually the point. That is a string reference, array reference, another one object. So example I will give here. This is a class binding dot component dot CSS. In CSS we added some classes. Let's see, these are the classes. Let me copy them. Class binding dot component dot HTML. In HTML, I applied this. I will just copy that and display. That's what we have defined. This is example how to configure. Let's design one more example and see how to use the class binding. Actually, no need to design classes. If you have Bootstrap working, you can apply Bootstrap classes directly. We can apply the Bootstrap classes because if Bootstrap is installed, already Bootstrap is having some classes. We can use those classes also. Now let's see one example here. Suppose how we can manage. I will show you one simple real world design. Let's create. In this container, I'm creating a form. So in this form, I will keep a heading span BI person fill. This is user login. Data list, data term, username, input type is equal to text. Form control. Okay. Another data term is password. Input type is equal to password. So here we defined class. Class is form control. And we have a button here. So button is some login. And class btn and BTN dark W100. This form is having class border for padding 2. Border 2 is enough. Yeah. And padding 2. For this container, we have deflex, justify content center, align items center, style height is some 500 pixel. Actually, this is the class here. We just design a user login screen. We just defined that and kept in the center. Now in this, what I am doing is I am adding a checkbox. I am adding here under that a div, and here we will put class as form switch, and here we have a checkbox. Input type is equal to checkbox. And here in the checkbox class, we are defining form check input, and here I will write some label, class form check label, and here I write as dark theme like this. That's how I define dark theme. Now what should happen is when I apply this, the form should change into dark color. We need to change the form into dark color. So we need to change that according to this slider. Now what we will do is for this entire form, this is checkbox. Checkbox will have ng model and hash, I will say theme is equal to what? Ng model. And for the form, we are applying already class. I'm adding another ng class. Ng class, here I will use an object reference. Object reference, I am giving class name as bg dark. That is a bootstrap class. Whether you want it or not, true or false, that comes from theme dot value. Theme dot value is what? Checkbox. That means the bg dark will be applied based on true or false. Then here I selected this, it should set it to true. That means the background color should change on that. That means now what we have to do is we need to access the theme value and display there. Already this is actually binding, how we can apply the binding. Now what should happen? That should change for the form according to this checkbox. Now see what value is coming into checkbox. First we will verify. Already there is a class, na? This class, and you are trying to apply one more class. One more class you are trying to apply into that. Observe carefully now. First, I will put a simple binding expression. What is it? Theme dot value. Just to check. Here when I turn on and turn off, you can see that value is not there. That means some problem in this theme. What is problem in the theme? Let's check. Any problem in the theme? It is checkbox, na? I will access here theme dot value. Below the checkbox, it's not displaying. What is the reference name? NG model. Where it is? Hash first NG model hash theme is, let's give another name, dark theme. Dark theme is equal to NG model. Okay, this we will apply here. What is it? Dark theme dot what value? The value is not coming. Let's check why it is not coming. Any problem? Let's check the error in the console. Some error is there. What is that error? It is not in the same tag. That is the problem. That means scope is not working. Scope is not working means actually it is saying that you ended this diviner. That means it is unable to access inside it. Okay. I will put that above the form. Actually, above the form, and we need to keep all this in a div. This form we will keep dark theme dot value. Now it is working fine. Right. Because previously just what happened, the scope problem came. Scope problem came. I just shifted it. Scope problem means nothing but it is using hoisting technique. Right. That means what we are doing. We are trying to use it before it is applied with some value. That is the point. What we do, we kept this above, and after that we kept the form. Now you can see here, just we need to add one more na, dark theme dot value. Suppose another option we need to define. If dark theme is applied, text color also should change. You see now, currently when I select dark theme, automatically it will change like this. Again I turn on and it will be in this way. But when you change the dark theme, the text color also should change. But actually we are using only bootstrap class. Bootstrap class means it will apply only background. We need background, foreground, everything to change. So we will write our own class. Here in this class, we have to just put a option. What is it? Theme, theme name. Theme name, or we will say dark theme. Dark theme. What should be the dark theme? Background color should be black. Color should be white. We have to apply multiple. Now this dark theme should be applied when user is changing. So instead of BG dark, what we have to do? Dark theme. We have to apply that value. Now what happens when I select? It will change. It will change the appearance and display. Dynamically, we are changing the appearance of this element. That you can do by using class binding. So class binding is used for various situations. So technically, if you want the appearance of any element to change, dynamically we need to use this. These options are present in so many. You might have seen your keyboards on mobile. Mobile also have themes, na? You can turn on dictionary mode, you can turn off dictionary mode, you can turn on hidden modes. Those not only just applying some effects, those are changing some styles, which we will see style binding also. This is just class binding. Class binding means you can apply a class. Can we apply multiple classes? Yes. Can we change multiple classes? Yes. Can we turn on and off the classes? Yes, that's what we are doing here, right? Now, this is another example. One more I will show you. Suppose user is typing something in this text box and it is not valid. Then it should turn to red color. We need to turn to red color. All such effects we can apply. What we need to do, for example, suppose you see this text box is having ng model hash, what is it, user name, what the ng model. Now similarly, this is ng model hash, this is what, password ng model. Now you learned validations in HTML. HTML have lot of validation properties, right? What are the validation properties of HTML? Actually, in HTML, input type is equal to text. We have validation properties. What are validation properties? Like we have required, we have like min length, we have like max length, we have like pattern. Pattern is also there. These are all validation properties. These properties you will learn in HTML, and these are used for validating. Is it valid or not, like that. Based on these validations, we can put messages, colors, effects we can change. For example, for a username text box, I given required. Required means it is mandatory to fill. If it is not filled, then it should be in red color. Then see what I am doing. I am applying ng class. I will put a dynamic. I will put bg danger. Bg danger is what? Background red color will come. It is a bootstrap class. When to apply? When text box is invalid. What is the text box? User name dot, we use invalid. That's what I said. Later we will learn validations. If you remembered, I given a list. Every model has so many properties: value, pristine, dirty, valid, invalid. So many properties will be there. Those properties you will learn later. As of now, you used only one property earlier, value. Invalid means it will verify is it valid or not. You see now which validation we given. Validation is required. Okay, you can see automatically. So when we are applying that, it's a name. Because these all requires name also. What is this name? User name. Later I told you that we will learn about validation. You see red color will come. And once I start typing something inside it, it will be gone. I entered, I removed that, then it is red. We can change appearance. So when I am designing, when I am typing something, it is okay. Suppose there is one more validation. One more validation is what? We have required validation. Similarly, suppose we have min length. Min length is equal to 4. Now you see, I click here and I am typing. So still it is red because minimum how many characters? 4 characters. Now it is okay. Now it is fine. Less than 4 characters, it is again red. These are validations. Validations is a separate concept, but I just showed you how they use the class binding. That means why we need class binding, how they use class binding. That means what is happening? The background danger is changing according to username valid or invalid. Invalid will return true if it is invalid. And validations you will learn separately, no worry. So just you need to know the concept. This we are applying by using ng class. Don't try this now, later you will learn, but you just try those themes what I showed you, because this you will learn after knowing about validation. Okay, so we can turn off. This is theme, this is dark theme and normal theme. This is another example for class binding example. So that is class binding dot component dot css. In css we designed one simple class. This is the class, and the class binding dot component dot html. In html we added this. There is nothing written in ts file. TS file we are not doing any changes. Everything we are using with which approach? MVVM approach. So we don't need any TS logic here. So this is the concept of ng class. Ng class is used for binding a CSS class dynamically so that we can change the appearance. Now there is another one. Another one is ng style. We have another ng style. Now tell me what is difference between here. There is a div. What is difference between class and style? In HTML, what is difference between class and style? What is the difference between class and style? Right? What is the difference? Class is both are applying effects only, na? Right? What is difference? Class is explicit and style is implicit. Styles are inline. Inline, na? Inline means we write the effects there only. Right? What is class? So effects are separately written and they are applied here. Class is for reusable, but inline styles are not reusable. Inline styles are not reusable. So class is reusable. If you want some effects to use in various locations, we write in a class and we can apply. But you want effects to one element which are not repeated or reused by anybody else, then no need to write a class. You can just write a style. So I hope you know, you learned in HTML, when you unnecessarily apply class, it will take more time to load. So style is more faster than class. If you write styles, they are faster when compared to class. But styles problem is you written for an element, they work only for that element. They cannot reuse. But classes can reuse, but they are slow. We can reuse, but they are slow because they need to apply separate. So if you want any effect to an element and you don't want to reuse those effects, then better you can go with style. If you want some effects to be used across various elements, then you better go with a class. Right? That is basic rule of HTML. You learned inline styles, embedded styles, external style sheets, right? So what is the concept of ng style actually? Ng style is nothing but it defines inline styles for HTML element. So inline styles are individual for any element and are not accessible to other elements. They are faster in rendering as they are native, as they are configured native, to element. So, however, you cannot reuse the inline styles. You cannot reuse the inline styles. That is the point. Now, what ng class can do, ng style can do, ng style can apply and change inline styles dynamically. It can apply and change the inline styles dynamically. And the point is here, it uses a style object with the style properties and values. It uses a style object with style properties and values. That is the concept of ng style. A style object with style properties and values. So syntactically, we define like this. ng style is equal to, we will put an object here. This is attribute colon value. Attribute colon value. Like this, we define the style. That's how we configure. That is ng style. Let's see one example for this, how we can apply and configure. So what is the purpose? Purpose is applying inline styles. Generally, we don't need those styles for other elements. For only one element, we define them. Classes you can apply for different. So that is style and class. Actually, it refers to, so applying inline style dynamically to any element in Angular is known as style binding. We call this as style binding. We have data binding, we have class binding, another one is style binding. Let's see one example for this also, how it works, right? How this style binding works. Let's create one example for style binding and see. I will create one this. First, let's apply that style. I will show you how to apply the styles. First, what you have to do is, suppose we have some text. So there is some text. So welcome to Angular. That is some text we are having, welcome to Angular. I want to apply some styles. First, what we have to do, go to the TS file. We have to go to the TS file. Here we have to create. We have to create public. So an style object. It is an object of CSS. Object of CSS means if you want, you can create object. In this, what we are giving, we have to write what are the effects you want to apply. Here, generally, I am writing effects like general CSS. That means it is having which one? So BG color, background color, background color. Let's keep here. Yeah. Background hyphen color. This is what type string. Comma, we have another one, color. Color is what type? This is also string. Background color and color, these two string types. And we need to apply them. What to apply here? We need to set background color. Background color is suppose red. And I am applying another one. What is it? Color. Color is what? White. Like this I am defining. Instead of that, you can make it type as any. If there are many styles you are defining, I am just giving as what styles we want. How to declare an object already we learned. Now this we want to apply here. That style object we need to apply to that. That means we will go to HTML. Here we will use what? ng style. ng style. I am applying the style object. That object is having some styles. And you can see here that effect will apply. We are applying a style object to that. Now, depending on what styles you want for that object, you can configure them here. That means the effects we are expecting: background color, string, color, string. Suppose I defined here padding. Suppose padding. This is also string. Now here I am adding padding. I am adding another one is padding. Padding is how much? String I will give as 10 px, 10 pixel. And that padding is applied there. We can apply styles. This is inline technique. So we are not using any CSS class. We are directly defining a style object and we are defining. Now, what is advantage of this? User can change the styles dynamically, and that will work only for that element. How dynamically they can change? Let's see. What I am doing here is I am adding in the HTML. I will keep another div. In this div class container. Okay. Here I am adding set effects, select effects, select styles. Okay. That's I'm adding here select styles. Now in the select styles, let's keep here a data list. So data term, here I am choosing as a background. And data term, here I am adding a drop down. In this we have an option, some red, so option like green, so option like blue, like this. Red, green, blue, yellow, some options we are defining. What is the value? This is red. The value is green. And the value is blue. And the value is yellow. Here we are defining that. Now user can select a background color here. And this should apply there. When user selects a color, it should apply there. I am using another here. I am using another here as text color. And you can see two options are there, background and text color. User can choose which background and which text color. In the text color, I will give red, some black, and here we will define as black. And here we will define white. Like this I added. So white, some different options are there. Now, how we can handle that? How to collect that and apply? Then what we will use? We will use, because this time we are applying through the style object in the class, in the component class. So what we have to do? We need to declare some properties. What are the properties? The properties public one. One is what I will give as background. BG style. Okay. BG style is what type? It is a string. Initially, it is what? Red. Some value. Another public. What is it? Text style. It is what type? String. And it is white. Like this I define. This BG style I will apply. This BG style I will apply here. I will apply to the drop down. What is it? Two-way binding technique. What is it? NG model. Which style? BG style. BG style. Similarly for second one, two-way binding. We learned already two-way binding. So here we will put what? Text style. We are applying like this. But still here, see, when I select here green, the background must be applied there. When I select white or some other, and it should apply there. That is not applying, because here we are not using these values now. We are using a style object. When style object is updated, then only these will update. So when user changes them, after changing, user will click a button. Let's put a button here. So data definition, I will put a button as apply. So class BTN primary something. And you can see this is apply button. User will select colors and click on apply. Then those colors must be updated here now. They must be updated here. So what we do? We have to write a function. So a method public, what is it? Apply click. On apply click, we have to collect this dot style object is equal to into this. What we have to put? Background color. This background color will come from this dot BG style. Understood? That is attached to drop down. Similarly, what is another one? Color. Color will come from this dot text style. Padding is same. Yeah? If you want padding also, you can get it from any element. Suppose I am using here So public, so padding is what? String. And here it is initially 0 pixel. Padding is initially 0 pixel. Let's go to the design. In the design here, so another data term, padding, and the data definition, input type is equal to range, and min is equal to 1, max is equal to 50, and value is equal to 1. And here we will define padding, and padding already heading is there now. Now here I will give as 1, and how much it is? 50. 1 to how much? 50. Now you see 1 pixel to how many pixel? 50 pixel. Now what should we do is we need to bind here. Two-way binding na ng model is equal to what? Padding. We will put that padding. So the padding is given like this, right? We will put that padding. Now this should apply. This should apply here also. That means what it should be? Padding. Padding should be what? This dot padding. But it is just a number. To that number, we have to add px. Pixel, because styles requires pixel. From slider only number is coming. That number is not enough. It will be 20, but it should be 20 px pixel. Okay, now see here. These are the options. I selected background color as yellow, text color red, and apply. It have to apply that here. Apply button, click not written. So for this button, we have to write what? Click. Which one? Apply, click. This function should fire up. Okay, now I selected it here. Background color is yellow, text color is red. Apply, that will apply. We want to increase the padding to 50 pixels. Apply padding links. It is increasing the padding. We are decreasing the padding and say that will change. We are changing the text color to white, black. It will apply. I am changing that to yellow. It will apply. Background color as red. It will apply. We can change the background color. We can change the foreground color. We can change the padding. I am increasing a little bit. We can change the border radius. We can change everything. Text alignments. Anything you can apply dynamically to that element. So we are not writing separate classes. We are writing the styles inline, and we are applying those styles. This mechanism is called as what? Style binding. So if you want similar effect to several locations, then use class binding. If you want the effect only for that element, it is not reused everywhere, and then better go with the style. Here I want this effect only to this, nothing else. Even you can do lot of effects for that. Suppose I want to increase the font size. I want to increase the font size. Put a slider and you can increase the font size. That means you can increase the font size. Remember, I am doing this on apply. If I want to do that while changing itself, then you can do with another event. What is that? Suppose there is another data term. I said font size. So data definition, suppose 10 pixel, and input input type is equal to, suppose I say range. So min is 10, max is suppose 100, value is 10. And here what we are doing is we will declare a property. The property name is what? Public. So font size, it is string type. Initially font size is 10 pixel. That is the default value. We will apply that font size. We will apply the font size here, where we are applying to that style object. Here we need to do one more. What is it? Public. What? Font change. Font change. What it should do? It should access all the style object in the same way. Am I right? All style object in the same way. Only one extra thing it should apply there. What it should apply extra? What it should apply? Font size. Font size. This dot what? Font size plus px. But font size is not a member of this object. Na? When we mention the type, we need to add one more property. What is it? Font size. It is what type? String. That is also a member of that object. Then it will apply. Here also we need to give. So font size is how much? 10 pixel. That is default value we are applying. Here also we need to put font size. Font size. It should come from this dot what? Font size plus pixels. Now this font change should fire up whenever user is changing this slider. Then here we can give an option what? Change. Change. We have to write font change. Font change is the font change. That means what happens here? 10 size is there. I am increasing the font size, then it should apply and display there. Some problem? What we are not applying? Actually, font size is not property. Font size, how it is written? Font hyphen size. Understood? Huh? That is CSS property name. Huh? Font hyphen size. That is the CSS property name. That is the CSS. Font size is the CSS property name. Okay. So now when I adjust this font size, it should apply that size. Some problem again? Last line. Now this is same na. Font size string actually font size is 10 pixel. Apply the font size from there. Background color, font size. No. Here let's check. Error any is there. Console. Padding is applying. This is applying. Font size is not applying. Apply also not working. Where we given? Style object default it is having 10 pixel. Then font size we will keep 0 pixel. initialize with value na. It's not changing. We haven't used any binding. Data binding we haven't used na. Where we use data binding? Not used, right? Here we have to apply. What is it? NG model. We haven't used data binding. NG model what? Font size. Yes. Data binding we missed out. Right. Now you see here when I am applying the font size, it will change. Right? We can adjust that according to this slider. When slider is moving, it changes the font size. We can change the font size. We can change padding and we can apply the padding. But padding is not working while changing because we haven't written on change. We written only on click, apply click, right? The text color is red, background is yellow, apply. Font size I can adjust here. Okay, we can adjust the font size here. We can increase the font size here. Right, that is how we can apply dynamic styles. So classes can be dynamic, styles also can be dynamic. That you can do by using this. This is another example for style binding. Same. I'm giving the name same. Example is different. You create a component called style binding component. I'm just giving here class binding dot component dot ts. Now this time in ts file, we have to write all the styles in, and one more is class binding dot component dot html. So we will copy this one. This is style and class binding, how it works. Is it clear? Right? So three important concepts are there: data binding, class binding, and style binding. Later, when we learn validations, these are very, very important because in validations only we use this very much. While user is typing, we check is it valid or not. According to that, we will change the appearance. I told you validations we will see later. So these are all under the category of three structural directives. These are under attribute directives. Three types of directives we have learned. What are those? One is component directives, another one structural directive, another one attribute directive. How to manage them. Now, once you know this, how to create and configure this, in that you learned actually data binding, you learned about style binding, and you learned about another one, class binding. Now, these are all, remember, related to which concept? These are all related to Angular components. Angular components. In Angular components, we have another important now to understand: component life cycle. How component starts, how component ends, what are the various phases of life cycle. In that one phase, you are working every day. Ng on init. That is a phase of component. Component have several phases. Those phases are very important to understand. That means the life cycle of components. Then we can finish components. That we'll see in next session. Right? In tomorrow's session, don't miss this session, because tomorrow's session is the session where 90% Angular interviews will happen. In Angular interviews, 90% questions will come from the topic that we are going to discuss tomorrow. Understood? So that is actually event binding. We call that event binding. Event binding and life cycle. These 2 points are there. Majority, 90% Angular interviews questions will be on that. Right? That's the reason you need to be very strong in that 2 things, event and life cycle hooks. That we'll see in next session tomorrow. Okay, right.